There is only one dessert that is appropriate for Thanksgiving, and it's pumpkin pie. Your traditional pumpkin pie recipe is normally pretty classic and doesn't have anything that is too special. It consists of pumpkin puree, Libby's is the only brand I'll use, eggs, dairy, and an assortment of warm spices like cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, and clove. I've even made a pumpkin pie one year that had caramelized honey, which was a nice addition to the normal recipe. That being said, pumpkin pie can be very boring. I hate to say it, but there just isn't a whole lot going on. It's the same thing every year, and unless you really love the flavor of pumpkin spice, it can be pretty lackluster. I'm usually tasked with making dessert for my family's Thanksgiving, so I nearly fell out of my chair when I was scrolling TikTok and saw a recipe for a pumpkin pie that blew my mind. It obviously involves pumpkin, but the added additions are just what I was looking for. The recipe comes from Milk Bar, and if you know anything about the Milk Bar bakeries across the United States, you know it's going to be a decadent recipe. They always elevate Simple's bakes into something that is out of this world. It's called Hilly's Pumpkin Caramel Pie, and it tastes exactly like it sounds. The crust is pretty traditional, and if you have a pie crust recipe that you've mastered, just make that. That's what I did, and the crust turned out great. The next step is making homemade caramel, which is the bottom layer of this pie. I was a little nervous making caramel without a candy thermometer, but the instructions in the recipe do a good job of explaining when you're good to turn off the heat and add the butter and heavy cream. The salted caramel was so delicious, and I can't believe how easy it was to make. I saved a little bit for myself so I could top ice cream with it. The second layer is the white chocolate pumpkin ganache. I was a little hesitant about making a white chocolate ganache and mixing it with pumpkin, but the combination is really quite nice. You roast the pumpkin puree on a sheet pan for about 30 minutes. I've never seen this done before, but it was very easy. Then mix the pumpkin with the white chocolate ganache, which was very easy to make. The next layer is just a classic whipped cream. You really need this layer because it cuts a lot of the sweetness that is in the ganache. Plus, is there anything better than pumpkin pie and whipped cream together? Normally, you just add a dollop of whipped cream to the top of your pie after slicing, but just adding all of it as a third layer is best for this recipe. The final touch is making a homemade streusel crumb topping that sit on the whipped cream. This was something that I've never made before again, but wow, was it easy. Not only was it easy, but homemade streusel might just be the best thing ever. I can't get over how good it is, and now I want to top it on every dessert I make. The whole pie together, with all the layers and flavors, is really an unreal experience. You get the classic pumpkin pie flavors, but the addition of the caramel at the bottom really takes it to a new level. Plus, you get some added textures with the caramel and the streusel. It's crunchy, chewy, and creamy all at the same time. It's a lot of steps to make this pie, and can seem kind of overwhelming, but trust me, the finished product is so worth it. If you want to shake things up in the dessert department for Thanksgiving this year, I highly recommend making this pie. You just might become the star of the day.